So I'm back, it's Tuesday morning, and we're running 8.12. Okay, so it didn't... that was weird. I'm gonna assume that it was responding to that oncoming truck. Oh, it's bugging me that you can't tap this in this version for some reason. I'm just going to be taking a quick drive to Midtown just to see the performance with 8.12. Pretty much the same path that I've been taking every week with every version release. That's good. It responded to that car pretty well too. So that car ran a red light and it changed color to yellow and it didn't abruptly accelerate. So they did some tuning there, which is awesome. Now this is the blind intersection that you have to stop and creep up because you literally can't see to the left because there's a fence and bushes. So I'm going to expect the car to stop and then creep up and look because it's completely blind on the left-hand side here. Yeah, it's just not stopping and creeping. So it said autopilot waiting for your turn. Yeah, well, it started to accelerate out into the road. It's completely blind on the left-hand side here, so you have to stop and creep up and look. And I'm going to expect a blind turn. I would expect autopilot to do the same thing as a natural driver. So don't mind all the bugs. I was up in Nevada over the weekend and went off-roading. It was a blast. So I haven't washed my car yet. Voting day, make sure everyone goes and votes. Bicyclists, pedestrian crossing, car stopped. Let's see how it handles all this. Great. Yeah, I've noticed 8.12, this release is, why did it do that? That was strange. The car kind of like came to a stop, almost full stop. 8.12 is handling the steering a lot more smoothly for me than the previous releases. You know, that was one thing I kept saying is like my car just was swerving so much. It was kind of making us motion sickness because the car just kept like, the steering wheel just kept turning all the time. And you can see it's kind of doing it a little bit here, but it's not, I don't know, it's not making me sick, and it's not like it was doing it all the time. It's just for a moment. So it's definitely improved. So we're driving through East Sacramento. There's a lot of challenging scenarios here. Crosswalks, a lot of pedestrians and bicyclists because we're approaching McKinley Park. So I think there needs to be some timing adjustments there. So that car was taking a left-hand turn. It was already out past the center line, and my car still didn't accelerate smoothly. So there was a car behind me, a little bit close because they're kind of like, go. So I'm sure that they're going to make that, tuned once it's closer to release. If it was me, I would add some kind of like algorithm for when it sees pedestrian crossings to just slow a little bit, kind of like what it's doing to speed bumps, like slow down a little bit. Oh my gosh. So I think it's still picking that lane for some reason to turn into, so I had to overtake there again. Not going to engage FSD until... Oh, good, they fixed the routing issue. I'm going to engage FSD right up here after the intersection so it doesn't, you know, go to the wrong lane. So it's struggling for some reason back here. This just right here is a turn lane. All behind it is a parking lane. So it's not drivable. It's to park. So this little small section is a right turn lane to turn onto Alhambra here. Okay. Perfect, they fixed this. Yeah, it would not make a right turn, you know, and I said that a couple times, that it wasn't making a right turn, and it was really bothering me that it wouldn't turn here. Now, it should have turned here because we have a you know, we can turn right. There was no traffic on the left. I'm overtaking because there's a car behind me, and, you know, they're just like right behind me, and the car wasn't going, so as you see, they flew past me. Because they're like, what is this driver doing? Yeah, so I think what's happening is that there's a van right there, and it was well over the stop line into the crosswalk, and the light was changing yellow, and instead of going, it just slowed down to stop before the light turned red, which is fine. Because I think it was going to have a little bit of difficulty turning, but with the car out. Oh my gosh. There was a pedestrian crossing, and this truck just was driving right into them. It's making turns so much better with 812, it's crazy. You know, 810 was the worst for me with making turns. 810 improved dramatically for making turns. Like, the amount of interventions I was having to do with 811 for turns was significantly reduced. And so far with 812, I haven't done that much driving yet because I just got into town, but so far with 812, I haven't had to intervene for any turning so far. You know, there still needs to be some tuning with blind intersections, especially with the street that I live on. It's blind, and you have to stop and then creep up to look to ensure it's clear. I've done this route multiple times, and see, it kind of did it here too. So it's a parking lane, and it wanted to go into the right because it looks drivable, like if it's a wide lane. I'm overtaking here because there's just cars behind me, and, you know, it's kind of like hunting a little bit. $810, it was struggling through here. 811 didn't have any more issues driving through here. So 811, though, on this particular turn, it was turning way too close, and my back tire almost ran up on this. So let's see what happens. The path hunting is a little tight again. Yeah, again, it's gonna clip that. So I'm overtaking because it for some reason, it's wanting to route the turn really tight for some reason, and my back tire is gonna clip. So I'm driving around Midtown, just heading to a couple stops, going through some roundabouts, some tricky intersections. It actually took that turn perfectly. Didn't get too close to the median like it did on the turn before. So the cross traffic does not have to stop here. So I'm paying extra attention to that. It's not detecting me. That was really strange. It just wasn't detecting that for some reason. I had to overtake because, as you saw, it was kind of like hunting. There was no traffic around me, or else I would have probably overtook sooner. But there was no cars around me, so I was just going to let it hunt. But it was, yeah. So there's a curb here on the right, and as you saw, what was happening is it didn't delineate that popped out on the screen. So it was turning way too sharp, and it may have not hit the back tire, but I mean, the car was positioned to drive straight over it, so I'm not going to let that happen. So there definitely needs to be some improvement with the detection of all these strange, like, medians and pieces of concrete that jut out. So this is a four-way stop. This is only stop on my direction. The other side, cross traffic does not stop, as you can see on that sign there. I really hope they improve the creeping out to look, because this is kind of blind. Now it is clear. I would have liked the car to stop and creep, because for me as a driver, it was blind. And there was like a big truck parked on the left, and there was cars parked along the right. You had to stop and then creep up to look. It would make me feel a lot safer if it, stopped and looked for me. It's struggling with, wow, this is strange. So, I think the very first night I drove, I had 8.10, and I went around a couple of these roundabouts, and it worked fine. And actually 8.11 was working fine for me too. This is my first time driving around Midtown with roundabouts and traffic, and you see all the cars everywhere. It's not going well. See the line? The drivable line is going right into the... Yeah, it's just going right into the middle of this. And now it's going around. That's really weird. That's like regression. But it's definitely doing a much better job in this release with staying in the lane, determining like where to stay in the road, because 8.10 was rough for me. I mean, my car was jumping all over. 8.11 improved a lot. 8.12 though, for lane finding, is significantly better, but it's roundabouts took a regression for me, because I didn't have that much trouble going through roundabouts, and it was trying to just drive straight into them. This last two, I'm not sure why it's stopping so much. It's all clear, so for some reason the car just didn't want to go. Why the car did that? Jeez. There was no reason for that. It's two lanes going straight. There was no reason to just flip on the signal right in front of a car and start to move. There was no reason for that at all. So I still feel like there needs to be more like left justification here, because the car kind of like wants to go to the right and center for the full width of the lane, including the parking areas here. And all the traffic around me stays to the left to stay close to the center line. So it's making the car kind of like go gradually back and forth. So there needs to definitely, you know, be some logic programmed to just stay left or stay close to the center line. It's the same issue I have navigating autopilot on the highway when there's an off ramp, which now seems to be corrected with 812 to me. It used to just like really rapidly like move and center between the width of an off ramp or an on ramp to the lane onto the far right. So the car would like go way over. And I noticed yesterday it wasn't doing that really too much. It was creeping away from the center line a little bit, but it wasn't, unlike here, it just kind of like keeps going like this, left and right, left and right. So I've also been having an issue here on J Street. So I'm around 42nd Street. Oh, I responded to that car and it just braked really hard. For some reason, right around 44th Street, it has been 20 to get into the center lane here. So I'm curious to see if they've corrected that. So right around here, 45th, 46th Street, there it goes again. It just like wants to go into the center lane for some reason, but it's a right-hand turn that I need to take onto one of the side streets, so it needs to be fixed. I still think that's a mapping. It's a mapping issue, not FSD related. I believe that's a mapping related issue, map data, that needs to be fixed for that particular scenario, because there's no visual indications telling the car to move. So my impression is that particular issue I'm having is map related data. See, now it says creeping forward, checking for visibility. Like, it should be doing that on... Oh, so it was going to turn too close to that curve again. You saw the ultrasonics light up. Even with me correcting it, it was like orange. It was that close. So there's still, like, right there, it said autopilot checking for visibility. Why is it not doing it at the stop sign on this street? Like, it stops at the stop line, and then it just accelerates out. And what it just did right there, where it says checking for visibility, that's what it needs to do at a blind intersection, especially when a driver can't see. You know the car can't see. You know, like the camera position where my head is can't see to the left, so the car can. And it's not indicating that it's checking for me. So here we're approaching 39th Street from Folsom Boulevard, and the last two updates has been trying to turn left right in this intersection way before. Okay, so far so good. So now it should be perfect. So what was happening is the last two updates, it was moving over well behind Wow, it's going really slow. Hey, but it worked. So the last two updates, the car has been pretty much switching lanes 2 blocks ahead of time and getting into the center lane, and just driving in the center lane. This time, it actually stayed in the correct lane and then went to the center lane right before it needed to turn. It's responding to the speed bumps correctly. It's perfect. That was awesome. It stayed perfectly centered between the car and the oncoming car. Both ultrasonics were the same color, orange. That was strange. So it just slowed down for some reason. I'm gonna see how it's gonna handle this bicyclist. The bicyclist is like riding in the center of the street. Yeah. It didn't handle that situation very smoothly, so I overtook because there was oncoming car. The bicyclist couldn't hear my car. I have a 2018, it doesn't have the external speaker. So some people definitely have difficulty hearing my car because there's just no sound. Handled that whole intersection roundabout just fine. Unlike earlier today, I was in Midtown and I drove, I think there was like 3 or 4 roundabouts I was driving around. I may have not recorded all of them, but 2 of them, you could see the roundabout, but the tracking for the path was showing straight, and it started to accelerate straight into the roundabout. So to me, that was a regression, because I haven't seen that with any of the software updates until 8.12, which was strange. I'm going to do some more testing later to see what happens. So it's not detecting those speed bumps very well, because they just put them in and there's little reflectors on top and they didn't slow down. I like that it's showing a message now, showing that it's waiting for our turn, and then earlier I saw that it was waiting for visibility. However, that's not always accurate because, there's a stop on my street with unprotected cross traffic, and it didn't say stopping, waiting to, check visibility. I wish it would. That was one place I need that to happen, not like, at a 4-way stop. But I do like that they're giving more messages, because it helps us as drivers know what's going on. I'm really glad that that was one thing I mentioned, I think, in the last 2 updates. I was wanting some kind of feedback to the driver. So, oh man, this isn't working very well. Yeah, the roundabout situation, I don't know what's going on with this update. I haven't seen my car struggle this much with roundabouts. It was mainly for me turns, doing right and left-hand turns, just not being able to path correctly. Now I'm finding my car's having more difficulty in roundabouts where it didn't before. Now I'm noticing that the pathing actually goes straight through roundabouts, and it happened on a couple of them. This one, it just kind of struggled to path correctly, and it was kind of like swerving a lot. You could see the steering wheel kind of like it was trying to find where to go. Well, I'm going to go do a float session here at Capital Floats to kind of calm down and relax, and then I'm going to go drive around Midtown and get more data. Maybe. Okay, I'm back. Just had a float, and as you can see, my car must have had one too because I'm to the right at the intersection. is it doing this? So I'm overtaking because it kept routing, it was showing the pathing that it was going to go to the right. And instead of my car, you know, turning at the last second, I'm not going to let it because the pathing was showing clearly to the right. Actually, I'm going to change my nav point because I want to go into downtown. It's doing it again. It's responding really well to the lights, though. So that was way too close for me. It actually drove in the gutter area, right? Oh my goodness. I mean, it probably wasn't going to hit that, but it's going so close to these curbs. It's struggling to find the lane. So I'm overtaking a lot more because there's just so much traffic right now and there's cars everywhere. And, my car is just driving really slow through some of these spots. And I can see cars like wanting to go around me, so that's usually why I test later at night, so there's less cars and stuff going on. That. So there's a really faded line there for turn. I guess there used to be a turn there at some point, but there's a faded line here, and that's why the car's so far left, because otherwise it would be like way over, like it's kind of doing now. So I'm giving it the accelerator because it was just not accelerating. There's all these cars like right up behind me. So anyway, I didn't overtake, but I definitely had to push the accelerator. There it's going again. It's so weird. It's like it has its moments where it's fine, and then other times it's just bizarre. Like it starts going again. So this is a blind one. This is a blind intersection. Cross traffic does not stop, and it's accelerating out, and I can't even see. So, I don't like that the car's doing that. It needs to stop and creep out and just tell you it's needing to check the blind spots. And if it can't safely proceed, it should not go. Like, they need to program that. I mean, I like that it's showing, waiting for our turn, but it's not always working correctly. Yeah, look how slow I'm going. 10 miles an hour on these cars are like... Oh, man. Again, it jerked because it's trying to find the lane. Ugh. Well, it responded to that car. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is really, I don't know what happened with 8.12 for me. So, like, the turns are a lot better for me. But the strangest thing is the roundabouts. It is not working for me. I tried like 3 or 4 roundabouts throughout Midtown today, and the pathing just straight through it. Something's going on with the logic. I don't know what it is. Maybe my car's shaken up from all the off-roading I did this weekend. So this is an all-way stop. All directions have to stop. So, you know, I'm okay with it accelerating, but on a not protected stop, 4-way stop or 3-way stop, it needs to give the driver more confidence that it's not going to just go. Okay. It's fine. I think I know what it is for me. It's like it's like the car's hunting for lanes, so it's taking so long at intersections. Other cars are starting to go. So it's like it's just a weird feeling for me. Like, see how it keeps jerking the wheel around because it's like hunting for the lane. You can clearly see the line. So like in my mind, I draw like a virtual line all the way down to where you can see the other line. And so then I'm kind of just naturally driving on that path. It's kind of like the path prediction now when you're on the highway and it predicts the curves when they rolled that out last year. I feel like it needs that same like the logic programming for City Street, because lines disappear, and then we're just, as humans, we're like naturally drawing from the curb to the curb because the car knows that and just can draw like a virtual line. And even the vision can't see it; it can at least draw a virtual line. Yeah, I think that would fix a lot of this. Like justifying to the left of the lane, or if you're right-hand drive country, you go to the left-hand side of the lane. But that would help the driving, characteristics so much more, in my opinion. Because like right now, it's just not natural. Like the car going left and right when you're driving down a street. Like you can see the line. So like in your brain, you just draw a line. And I think they need the path prediction to do that. At least build it so the path prediction's further out or something. I don't know what it is because I don't know how it's programmed, but like this, you can see the line. It's driving into the cars over here. So like I'm kind of like going through the road. You should have just drew a line down the center and stuck to the left of this big, huge lane because my car keeps like shifting back and forth. So like all these cars behind me, they're just driving straight down the street, and then I am going left and right, like a drunk driver. So there's a pedestrian roundabout. I'm not feeling very good about roundabouts in this release. I'm glad that it stopped so far back, but like I'm really far back. Oh goodness. I know I make a lot of sound effects, but geez, it starts to accelerate really hard and then slams on the brakes. Oh. I'll just re-engage it after this. So again, this is not an all direction stop. It's only on opposing traffic is open. See, now it shows it waiting for cross traffic, waiting for our turn. Oh gosh, it just like, it doesn't, look how slow it's going. It's going 10 miles an hour and there's cars coming. I think for the sake of, the car driving as natural as possible, I kind of feel like it just needs to not do it in these type of intersections for right now. Like if they're all protected, then the car can do it, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling very good about roundabouts in this software release. Okay, so let's see how it handles all these people on skateboards. It's trying to figure out where it's going to go. It's a huge pile of leaves. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, car, please just don't hit it. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, I made it. Cool. Let's go downtown. I didn't actually talk too much about the UI. I really like the new UI update. I like how the car looks. I like how the icons are smaller. I really like that because it's showing you like this isn't as important. The autopilot icon isn't as important because FSD is gonna just do it for us, as drivers. And I like this line right here because it kind of makes me feel like the line of the new center console on the refresh, has that like aluminum metal accent that slides across. I like that. The thing I've noticed that I don't like, okay, stop for the people, please. Wasn't going to stop for the people, there was no reaction to it. So I needed to overtake there. You can clearly see the boxes on the screen, so the car knew that they were there, but the yield logic needed to be set for that. I've seen it yield correctly, other times I've not, so I don't know if it's because that sign was kind of obscured. But you can look and you can see the pathway and the yield sign in the center, so. So what I was going to say is another issue I'm having with it is the stop sign. I probably mentioned it before. This stop is not working anymore, so now when I re-engage autopilot FSD, come on, let's go. Oh. So what's happening is I tap it now and it doesn't do the set speed. So I kind of wonder if this UI is actually, they've been working on it for some time. That's why that particular function was missed. Because, oh my gosh, come on. I'm overtaking because it keeps going and braking, and there's cars behind me. So, driving cautious is fine, but in rush hour traffic, when cars are like swerving around you and you're going too slow and you're braking and accelerating, it's not the best look. Yeah, it's handling protected intersections great. I feel like it's definitely not the most comfortable as a driver because I don't feel like it's looking before it pulls out on unprotected intersections. That's just the feeling I have because the way the logic is, you stop and then you just hard accelerate, and it doesn't just like creep or give you a warning saying it's going to creep out. Maybe draw a little line like, hey, we're going to creep out to here now. Maybe it'll do like the stop line and then maybe like pulse or something, like kind of like flash with another virtual stop line. I don't know, something like that. Oh, don't hit the trash, guys. Yeah, I really don't like how it keeps, see my steering wheel, I don't know if you saw that, but I just really don't like how it keeps doing this. It's like, I know I've said it before, like, oh, you know, I look drunk, but you know, it gives people that impression that you're a drunk driver. I mean, look, it's driving into the park lane. So I guess that brings me into something that, oh gosh, it's pulled out in front of a car and almost hit the curb at the same time. Perfect. Okay, so I guess that brings me to a good segue. So I've been getting a lot of attention from people in the Tesla community, worldwide. You know, a lot of support. But I've also been getting a lot of negative. You know, people have been hitting, you know, like really attacking me for saying that I'm attacking Tesla, or I'm really negative on Tesla, and I'm kind of like the only one showing like this kind of scenarios that are happening. But you know, I'm not against Tesla. I want Tesla to get the issues corrected. I mean, that's why I'm a tester. You know, like, you know, you have to point out the issues, otherwise they're not going to fix them. And it's really difficult to do, especially when you're like writing up an email. You know, you have to like take notes about when scenarios are happening. But now that we have live video feedback directly to Tesla, they can see the exact timestamps, they can see the screen. This is literally what they're going to be able to program off of. So what I'm getting at is I've been getting just a lot of negative attention from people attacking me, and I realized what was happening. So I'm not good with video editing. I don't know anything about this stuff. I just got DaVinci Resolve literally last week to put these clips together from this GoPro that I bought. And, you know, I've been attacked by a lot of people, including people that are in the testing program. I'm not going to name any names, but, you know, saying that I need to not show anything negative about Tesla. And, you know, it bothers me, because then I realize, like, you know, I was questioning even out loud, like, why aren't people seeing these issues that I'm seeing? And you know what? They're editing them out. So, you know, I'm not trying to call everyone out, but, you know, you guys, I swear, Tesla told us to send our experience and everything that we're doing to them, because we have to show them how to fix these issues. And this is how they want us to do it. You know, if they gave us like private video links or whatever they wanted, absolutely, we'd send it right to them. But, you know, right now, this is how they have us do it. And I'm not good with video editing or any of this stuff, so I'm pretty much just like connecting the clips together because I'm pushing the button on the GoPro. And I don't have any, you know, I don't have experience doing video editing stuff, but I'm very experienced in the technical space of testing software and IT. I mean, I've done it for over 20 years, so, you know, I'm highly technical. So it just bothers me that, you know, people are trying to like block all this stuff out and attack me for saying I'm giving Tesla a bad, you know, reputation or anything like that. But, you know, these are issues that need to be fixed. I would love it if they gave us some way to just send all this stuff to them, but there's just not. Like, we literally have to take pictures or, you know, and write up a full document on where these issues are coming from, and or describe the issue. Why is it doing this? And because there's so many like issues that I have to explain and that I'm experiencing as I'm driving, there's no way I can like make notes of everything. I'd literally have to record myself and like transcribe everything and send it to them, because there's a lot of weird things, you know, like here you can see it trying to pass so over into that parking lane again. Like, those are just parking spots. Let's turn it back on, make sure it's on. I'm trying to keep it in FSD as much as possible when I have the GoPro going. Oh, jeez. Again, it keeps going into these parking lanes. Like, it sees the parked cars. Why would it want to even go there? I don't know. It doesn't make. I'm not programming this. It just doesn't make sense to me. Oh. Oh, the road's closed. Midtown Sac. See, it doesn't work. See, can you see this, the wheel? Look at the wheel. Like, I'll kind of like leave my hands on it so you can see my hands moving. But see it like moving. This is not okay. Did you hear that? So that loud clunk was actually the brake letting off, like going down really quick. So the car was it was braking really hard. So I had to actually leave my foot on the throttle so it would continue to not do that, because it keeps doing it really hard. See the wheel. I think this motorcyclist is mocking me. I keep seeing him go back and forth like I'm, you know, going swerving around the road. Go car, go. Oh my gosh, this is not okay. So like, I usually can tolerate this when I'm in, when I'm not having so much cars around, but there's so much traffic on me, and it's going like, you see how it was going like 5 miles an hour, just like creepy. So I guess, you know, my review so far of 812, you know, they fixed the navigation routing issue. Like, I pointed that out. It was making some really strange decisions. Now the pathing is pathing like it normally would path. So anytime I would drive down here, it would show me the path. But with the last software release, it was just making really weird decisions. But that seems to all be fixed. You know, I pretty much do the same little path, so I know where to replicate issues. And that seems to be fixed, that nav routing issue. I wish I was coming on the street so I could at least, you know, test this barrier thing again, like it kind of like swerved towards it the other night. Oh, come on. Okay. Dang. Well, the pathing still kind of was pivoting to the right there, so it may have tried pulling over there. I'm not entirely sure, but I couldn't get it engaged before because the traffic, just the little icon wasn't appearing for FSD. Okay, let's just get back into town. No. I think I just realized what the issue is. So, you know, like you can see the white line drawing, like it's trying to draw the lane, but it's kind of like the road edge detection needs to be, that needs to be the road edge, not the actual road edge, but that needs to be like a soft edge, like the car needs to not go. Like it's marking it as a lane, like indicated by the white. And it needs to be really treated like an edge, you know, like a soft edge. Even if it's drawing a virtual line where all the cars are parked, it needs to be a soft edge. Like you can see it kind of like bouncing the line to the left towards those parked cars again. It'll kind of like flicker over here. Let me just turn it on, then you can see it. See? Now it's not going to go there because it drew that white line up. But the white line is like a... Okay, it was... it really swerved to the right. And it even caused this SUV next to me to switch lanes right as the car did that. Oh man, why? Ah, this would be cool. This is oh, why did it stop so far back? Stopped really far back. I mean, look how far. I mean, look, it's almost an entire car length. Even that car's far back, and I could have fit another Model 3 right there. Like, it stopped way far back. This was actually the intersection where the light rail, the electric boom, was blocking the light, and it went out of view, and then the car accelerated. Whoa! Oh, come on. Why did it do that? Like, it really wanted to go into that left lane. Like, it keeps drawing it as a drivable lane. Why is it? I never had this issue. Not that I can remember not pulling into cars like that. So I'm on R Street, and this is 16th, I believe. 16th Street. Opposing traffic, you know, me and the cars in front, we have stops. The cars to the right don't. I like that it said that it was waiting for our turn, but it really accelerates. Like, now this time it's accelerating, other times it's like hesitant. So I really don't know. I don't know why some logic, it seems like it's programmed and works great. That guy's looking like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. The Tesla kind of, you know, did a little funny thing for me right there. You guys saw that, right? Like, it kind of went to the left, I think, because it saw the velocity of him walking, but it, like, swerved. Like, went... Let's get FSD back on over here. Oh, yeah, they did. They fixed it. So this exact intersection made me, it was going to make me go straight, and then right, and then right. So they definitely fixed whatever that strange pathing issue I was having on the nav. I don't know why it did that. It went... Okay, it like went, it creeped up and stopped that time. There's actually traffic to the left, traffic to the right, pedestrian crossing, bicyclists. There's a lot more stuff going on. It's waiting. It's great. It's waiting way too long. Like, now it's pulling out. There's already a car coming. Why did it wait so long? I mean, so it stopped like for everything happening, but it was waiting so long. There's like a whole line of cars behind me now, because like it was just taking its little time, and then it didn't go when it should have, and then it just started to go in front of a car. So I don't. That's weird. Yeah, I'm just not feeling very happy with the unprotected crossings right now. Like, that needs to be tweaked. Like, you know, stop, creep, draw a line to show how far you're going to go, but not like into the road, like maybe to the crosswalk or something. The train's coming, so that'll be cool. Make sure it... Well, we're not first, though. I like how the wipers were moved here. Because before you had to, swipe that little tile. I like that there's a button now. Even though, you can push the little button here too. I haven't actually played with anything here yet since the update. We were camping in the desert all weekend. And actually through Monday too, so I didn't get back really until last night. So I really haven't played with anything on here yet. So we're in Midtown. I believe this is 19th Street. So I think it's called the Ice Blocks are behind me. Pretty cool area in town. I like it down here. Could be that my cameras are kind of dirty too, so you can see the back cameras. Well, the sides are fine. I went kind of off-roading this weekend in this car, so that was pretty fun. Oh. Oh, I found a bug. So when you tap the camera, it's not lighting up to show that it's on and off. It's actually toggling the music icon on and off when you're doing that. That's a strange bug. I don't know what it did just there, and it's so hard because I'm pushing that button so much because it just braked really hard all of a sudden, but the traffic was still flowing smoothly. So I don't know if it was maybe the radar was detecting there was someone on a scooter. Maybe it was detecting that way up ahead. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's what they need to do. They need to, just like they do path prediction for the curves, they need to do it for straight lines, like in town. I feel like the path prediction is working great on highways. Like it works great for me. I love autopilot. But in cities, like the way it works is different. Like it needs the way that we treat city streets. We hug to the left. On a highway, you stay in the center. But city streets is totally different. It's like, okay, so I'm overtaking because there's just so much traffic and the car's hesitating to go, and it didn't indicate that it was going to wait for that car because it was our turn. But it was just, that's a time when like it needed to go. And other times it's like, hey, don't go. Be cautious. It's hopping far back again. See, now it accelerates. So it's like accelerates pretty hard. There's a car backing up here, oncoming, turning right. There's a lot more stuff going on at this time of day because it's 5:30, 5:40. Not having it. It's not having it today. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head over to the Art Mall. We have, I think it's called Electric Joy. They do like Tesla detailing at supercharging stations. So I'm going to actually go check them out tomorrow because I've seen them post on Twitter. So I've always wanted to check them out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the car washed and detailed tomorrow so that everything's really clean, like with the cameras and stuff. And kind of like do the same pathing that I did tonight to just rule out for myself that maybe it's because the cameras are a little dirty. They're not like the super sharpest. But it's really the front camera. The windshield's fine. I don't know. I'm just going to do that. I think I just want to like rule out that maybe dirty cameras are attributing to what I'm seeing. Yeah, today is just, it's just acting strange. It was doing a lot better this morning. Maybe it's nighttime again. It's stopping really far back again. I don't know if it's just a limitation of the camera view and it wants to stay far back to see. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, there it goes. Left, right, left. Actually, I think that was right, left, right. But it's so cool. Like, it's slowing down to speed bumps correctly. That's so awesome to me, especially ones that are delineated with marks. Like, oh, oh man, I didn't see that one. It saw it like at the last second. So the first one we were about dropped down to maybe 15 miles an hour. That one we were going about 25. So I really barreled into that one. So this street gets super busy. It's just been pulling out, like, it just pulls out. Now, it was safe to do so because I can see the lights. If it was during the day, I probably wouldn't have even let that do that because at least I could see the lights. That wasn't my audio skipping, that was the turn signal. Okay, so I don't know why I did that. Like, it was waiting for our turn, checking for visibility, then the light turned green for the other opposing cars, then it started to go, and then the cars were coming, and you could, I had velocity, I had momentum going forward, so other drivers can see your car moving, so they're going to react to you pulling out in front of them. So, I saw that Prius kind of like swerve a little. Nav hasn't been fixed, so it's probably going to try to move into the center lane again over here, the map data. Yep. I think they got all that because I intervened, but yeah, there's just something odd with the map data that programmed right over there. It just always wants to turn left there, but it shows straight. I just don't know. Oh, maybe it's the color of the lane. Maybe it's switching white again, like it was doing in Midtown, switching white and then wanting to drive over there. Maybe that's what's happening. Because these are yellow. Yeah, that might be what's going on. Oh, that was a parked car, and for some reason this responded to it. And it was parked, not moving, it was just parked. Yeah, handled all that pretty good. Whoa. Whoa. It hasn't been handling this turn very well. Yeah, I haven't been showing it because for one, it's like close to my home, and secondly, it just hasn't been working very well here. So I've been just chopping my video early. Anyway, everyone have a good night.